It's 3 p.m. now, Cairo local time. It's a very good afternoon to our viewers and welcome to our English news bulletin. My name is Angie Meher, delighted to be in the company of my colleague Lamia Abdulsattar. Good afternoon to you, Lamia.
Good afternoon, Angie. Dear viewers, we start our news with the headlines. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi receives Gabon's counterpart Brice Guema at الاتحادية Presidential Palace. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli holds a press conference following an inspection tour in a number of health facilities. And Palestinian medical sources say areas in the Gaza Strip.
Welcome back. Now the details in full. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received the President of Gabon, Brice Guema, at الاتحادية Presidential Palace. An official reception was held for President Guema, and the national anthem of the two countries was played with a Guards of Honor show as well.
Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli announced the expansion of healthcare insurance umbrella to cover 33 new governorates with a cost of £115 billion. Madbouli also stressed that the state gives great attention to provide different health services to the citizens and continuous work to upgrade its quality according to President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's directives in this field. This came during his inspection tour at a number of health facilities in Giza and Cairo governorates. Concluding his inspection tour at المصرية hospital, Madbouli affirmed the importance of development work coinciding with new construction work. He also inspected the project of the new building of Bula el-Dakrur Public Hospital and directed the operating company to follow up the maintenance work of the building.
To regional news, Palestinian medical sources said 22 Palestinians were killed in Israeli air raids in sporadic areas in the Gaza Strip on Saturday morning. Meanwhile, 4 others were killed, including 3 working at the World Center.
The Israeli military said on Saturday it had struck military infrastructure at the Syria-Lebanon border being used by Hezbollah for weapons smuggling in violation of their ceasefire agreement. Earlier, the Israeli military said on Saturday that Lebanese residents were prohibited from moving south to several villages and called on them not to return to around 62 villages in the area.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Migration and Egyptian Expatriates Affairs, Badr Abdelati, discussed during a phone call with his Syrian counterpart, Bassam Sabbagh, the latest developments in northern Syria, especially in Idlib and Aleppo. During the call, Abdelati listened to an explanation and evaluation of the Syrian minister regarding the latest development in the country. Abdelati expressed concern towards the repercussions of such developments, stressing Egypt's supportive stance for Syria and its national institutions. He also stressed Egypt's important role in achieving stability, combating terrorism, as well as independence and territorial integrity.
Syrian and Russian warplanes targeted opposition members in an Aleppo city suburb on Saturday after the opposition forces penetrated the heart of the city in Syria's northwest in a surprise attack the previous day. Syrian military sources said the country's authorities closed Aleppo airport as well as all roads leading into the city on Saturday. The military sources said the Syrian army has been told to follow safe withdrawal orders from the main areas of the city that the rebels have entered. Earlier, Syrian state television denied opponents had reached the city and said Russia was providing Syria's military with air support. The Syrian military said it was fighting back against the attack and had inflicted heavy losses on the opponents in the countryside of Aleppo and Idlib.
European and Iranian officials made little progress in meetings on whether they could engage in serious talks, including over Iran's disputed nuclear program. Meetings in Geneva, the first since this month's U.S. election, come after Tehran was angered by a European-backed resolution last week that criticized Iran for poor cooperation with the UN nuclear watchdog. European officials said there'd been nothing of note in the meeting, but that Tehran had shown an eagerness to explore how diplomacy could work the next few weeks. Iran's deputy foreign minister and senior nuclear negotiator met the EU's coordinator, Enrique Mora, before holding various talks with the European diplomats known as the E3.
Russian forces have taken control of two settlements in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region. Russian Defense Ministry said forces have also captured the village of Vorovskoy in the same region, but it wasn't immediately possible to locate. The Defense Ministry also said that Russia has shot down 10 US-made ballistic missiles fired by Ukraine over the past week.
Moving to the North Korean leader, Kim Jong-un, who's told the Russian defense minister that Ukraine's use of long-range weapons is the result of direct military intervention by the United States, and Moscow is entitled to fight in self-defense. Kim met Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belsov and said the U.S. and the West made Kiev authorities attack Russia's territory with their own long-range strike weapons, and Russia should take action to make hostile forces pay the price. Kim pledged to expand ties with Russia in all areas, including military affairs, under the comprehensive strategic partnership he signed with Russian President Vladimir Putin in June, which includes a mutual defense agreement. Moscow and Pyongyang have dramatically advanced ties since their leaders held a summit in September last year in Russia, and the North has since shipped more than 10,000 containers of ammunition, as well as self-propelled howitzers and multiple rocket launchers.
Chad's government has terminated a revised 2019 defense cooperation agreement with France. A statement by Chad's foreign ministry said that the Central African nation, a key Western ally in the fight against terrorists in the region, wanted to fully assert its sovereignty and redefine its strategic partnerships after 66 years of independence. The French foreign ministry was not immediately available for comment. Landslides that hit several villages in eastern Uganda killed 15 people and left more than 100 unaccounted for. The East African country has been deluged by heavy rains in past days, with the government issuing a national disaster alert after reports of flooding and landslides. More details to follow.
More bodies buried under the mud were retrieved in eastern Uganda, and an injured person died in a hospital, bringing the death of 6 villages in the mountainous district of Balumbuli, 280 kilometers east of Kampala, Uganda's capital, where some 125 houses were destroyed. Ugandan Red Cross Society spokesperson said that bodies of 4 more people were found, with the 5th person, one of the injured in the landslides, died at Mbale Hospital. The society in a statement said 750 people were displaced, with 216 of those living temporarily at a neighboring school, and others were being housed by relatives. The Bulambuli resident district commissioner said soldiers have been deployed to help with the digging. More bodies are still buried under heaps of soil and stone, and they're trying as much as they can to recover them. Local officials in the area said an excavator would be brought to assist in the rescue efforts, but the roads were covered in mud and rain was still falling. The impacted area is about 50 acres with homesteads and farmlands spread downhill. Lawmakers from the district said the government would help relocate residents from the landslide-prone area. And moving to our business review, the Ministry of Electricity and Renewable Energy is hosting the 15th round of the Arab Ministerial Council for Electricity, which begins on Sunday. The round will be launched in the presence of a number of ministers concerned with electricity affairs in Arab countries, delegations and representatives from 22 Arab nations, as well as experts and members of the Energy Department at the Arab League. The 15th round has a special importance as it witnesses the signing of 2 agreements on the Arab Common Market for electricity to establish a joint Arab market and a comprehensive Arab electricity interconnection.
Russia's government has lifted a temporary ban on gasoline exports for producers, but extended the restrictions for other exporters of the fuel until the 31st of January 2025. The initial ban on gasoline exports was set to expire at the end of this year. The government said in a statement that the decision was taken to maintain a stable situation in the domestic fuel market, support the economy of oil refining, and counteract grey exports of motor gasoline.
Moving to the exciting world of sports and kicking off with Cristiano Ronaldo, who scored both goals as Al Nassr defeated Damac 2-0.
Mikel Arteta says Arsenal will need to be almost perfect if they are to catch runaway Premier League leaders Liverpool, but feels momentum is building again after a poor run. Arsenal runners-up to Manchester City over the past 2 seasons were expected to challenge again this year, but instead Liverpool have raised 8 points clear of second-place City. The Gunners go into Saturday's match against West Ham on a high after hammering Sporting Lisbon 5-1 in the Champions League in midweek. Victory at the London Stadium on Saturday would likely lift Arsenal to second in the table ahead of the Sunday matches, which includes a pivotal clash between Liverpool and City.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we wrap up our English News Bulletin. You were in the company of myself, Angie Meher, as well as my colleague, Lamia Abdul Sattar. Thank you very much, Lamia.
Thank you, Angie, and thank you everyone for watching.